What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to talk about the official Digimon FAQ. Now, I know there have been lots and lots of Digimon news for all these new cards, etc. lately. This is just the way it is. Shout out to the lovely folks over at GameAcademia.com for providing the translation. Starting off then, we've got Demi-Devimon. It's got an inheritable skill that says, if this Digimon becomes active during your main phase, this Digimon gets an extra 1000 power until the end of the turn. So when a Digimon with this card in its evolution sources receives the effect, put this Digimon to active, does this evolution source still activate? No. If you're already active and something happens that would make your Digimon active, you cannot give it extra power because it never was made active. Because it was already active. You've got to actually make yourself active, not just have a skill that could have made you active if you weren't already. Algamon here, and we're talking about the level 2, there are many Algamon in the set. This has got an inheritable skill, whereby if this Digimon becomes active during your main phase, you get 1 memory. Exactly the same question here. Unless you actually got made active, it is not good enough to just have a skill that could have made you active if you weren't already. Sunamon here, another lovely Digitama from the set. This one's got an inheritable skill that says if you have a Digimon with the same name as this Digimon, you get an extra 2000 DP. Does this refer to Digimon cards that are also named Sunamon? No. It refers to the Digimon that has evolved from Sunamon. Whatever has the inheritable skill, it must be a Digimon with the same name as that one. So Birdramon made a return in this particular set, and it's got a skill whereby when you are attacking the player or security, this Digimon gets an extra 4000 power. If you're attacking an opponent's player, but they block, do you still get the extra 4000 power? Yes. What happens is you declare, I'm going to attack the player or security, then you get the extra 4000 power. Then your opponent goes, oh, I'm going to block, but you've still got the extra 4000 power, so they can block Birdramon, but they're going to need a 7000 power, not a 3000 power. Now, Garudamon made a comeback in this set. When you are attacking the player or security, you draw 1 card. What if that attack was blocked? Same deal as before. You were attacking the player. Even though your opponent is blocking, you still attacked the player, so you get to draw the extra card. How nice. Hoomon, my apologies for mispronouncing it every time up until now. When you're attacking the player or security, you get +1 memory. Guess what the question's gonna be? Yes, if it is blocked, you still get the extra memory because you were still attacking the player, even though it ended up getting blocked. Now, Jukemon is one of the real highlights of the set. When you evolve, if you've got a red Tamer, you destroy a Digimon with 6000 power or less, and when attacking, for every card in your opponent's trash, or every 10 cards, you discard one of your opponent's security. Does my opponent's security card that is discarded in this way activate any security skills if it's an option or a Tamer card? No. You are discarding it, you are not doing a security check. If my opponent's got 1 or more security, and this leaves my opponent with no security, does the same attack win me the game? Yes. Essentially, let's say your opponent's got 2 security cards and 20 cards in their trash. You attack and you go, oh, you have 2 lots of 10 cards in your trash, so I get to discard 2 security cards. Now I am attacking. Oh, you have no security cards and I am attacking. Therefore, I win the game. Harsh, but eminently logical. Vmon here has an inheritable skill. Once during your turn, if this Digimon becomes active during your main phase, you draw a card. What if it was already active? Same one we've talked about a couple of times before. You do not get this unless you actually are made active, not just if you targeted it with an effect that would have made it active if it wasn't already. Gomamon comes along with a rather nice skill that reduces the cost of this card in your hand by 1 for every one of your opponent's Digimon with no evolution sources. If my opponent has got 5 or more Digimon, do I gain memory? No. The cost goes to 0 and never goes below 0. Now, if your opponent has got 4 Digimon with no evolution sources or more, you can play Gomamon for free, but no, you are not allowed to play this and gain memory. That would be somewhat broken. Sorry. Aerovedramon here comes along with another lovely skill. When you evolve, if you've got a blue Tamer, one of your blue Digimon becomes active. As a side note here, let's say all of your blue Digimon are already active. This would be an example of one that would not activate the if it was made active skills. And on your turn, if this Digimon becomes active during your main phase, this Digimon gets Jammer. When I evolve my Digimon in rest, can I make myself active? I.e., if you evolve a resting Digimon into Aerovedramon, can you then make Aerovedramon active? Yeah, of course you can. You evolve. Oh, I've got a blue Tamer. Let's make one of my Digimon active. Hey, this Digimon's resting. Let's make it active. And then there's the same question we've seen multiple times already. If you are targeted with a skill that would make you active, but you're already active, do you get jamming? No, you have to be made active, not targeted with a skill that would make you active if you weren't already. Mega Seadramon here. It's got a skill. On your turn, it cannot be blocked by your opponent's Digimon without an evolution source. What does that actually mean? It means when this Digimon attacks, your opponent cannot activate their blocker skill if that particular Digimon that has blocker has no evolution sources. Nice. Metal Seadramon here has got 2 skills. When you play, you return up to 2 of your opponent's level 4 or less Digimon to their hand, discarding any evolution sources. And on your turn, it cannot be blocked by your opponent's Digimon without an evolution source. And it is exactly the same question we just saw with Mega Seadramon. Any Digimon your opponent wants to use to block will have to have at least 1 evolution source. Ulforce Vedramon, clearly one of the best blue cards in the set. On your turn, if your blue Tamer becomes rested, this Digimon becomes active. And on your turn, once during your turn, if this Digimon becomes active, you gain 1 memory. Does this Digimon's effect put my blue Tamer to rest? No. It must be your blue Tamer being put to rest by other effects. It then makes it active. And then the usual note here, you only get the +1 memory if you were put active, not targeted by skills that would put you active if you are already. Moving over on to yellow here, we've got Salamon. When you are destroyed, if your security is 3 or less, you gain 1. If you've got 3 security and 2 of this Digimon are destroyed at the same time, do I get to recover 2? No. Because you still resolve the effects 1 at a time. First, you resolve Salamon and go, oh, I've got 3 security, yay, recover 1. But then you look at the next Salamon and go, I've got 4 security, so the recovery 1 would fail. Geogreymon here's got an inheritable skill. When you're attacking, if you've got 3 or more yellow Tamers, you get to reduce one of your opponent's Digimon by 2,000 power. What happens if you are attacking a Digimon and this evolution skill puts that Digimon's power to 0 and destroys it? Nothing. The attack does not happen. You resolve any other when you attack skills, but there is no attack because the Digimon is not there to be attacked. It's already been taken down. Holy Dramon here, when you play, if your security is 3 or less, you recover 2. And when you attack, you may play a level 3 yellow Digimon from your hand without paying for it. Is the card's when attacking effect compulsory? No. You may play a level 3 yellow Digimon from your hand, but you don't have to. It might be that you know your opponent's going to be able to destroy it, so you want to wait until you can play and immediately evolve it, for instance. Does the Digimon played by this card effect activate any play effects? Yes. Yes, it does. Like, for instance, the Patamon, that gives you extra security if your security is low enough. The rule is, if it specifically says you do not get any skills, you don't get them. Otherwise, go nuts. Ophanimon then, new level 6. When it's destroyed, you place this card on the top of your security. When it is put face down in my security from its effect, does that make it a security card? Yes. And that does include battling a Digimon that is trying to take it down, which means not only does Ophanimon give you an extra security card, it actually gives you an 11,000 power security card, which is not to be sniffed at. Speaking of level 6 yellow Digimon, Shine Greymon, when you evolve, you rest all of your yellow Tamers, and for every Tamer rested by the effect, one of your opponent's Digimon loses 4,000 power. And then it gets an extra 1,000 power for every Tamer that you have. So when 2 or more yellow Tamers are put to rest, can I choose separate Digimon as the target for each of the minus 4,000? Yes. Essentially, every minus 4,000 from Shine Greymon here is a different effect. And you activate them one at a time. And they can all go on different Digimon, or they can all go the same, or they can be some combination of the two. Tyrannimon then, but the green Tyrannimon, which still feels weird. When you evolve, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put 1 level 5 Digimon and 1 green Tamer from amongst them into your hand, and put the rest of them onto the bottom of your deck in any order. Does it have to be a level 5 Digimon and a green Tamer? No. It could be one of each, or one of either, or neither. Just depends what's in your hand, I suppose. Now, Algamon, there are a bunch of Algamon in the set. There's one of each level. We're looking specifically at the level 5 here. Now, Algamon's got a skill where when you attack, you play a level 3 green Digimon from your hand at rest without paying its cost. Does it activate the when played skill? You bet it does. Same deal as before. Unless it specifically says it doesn't, it does. Now, Puppetmon, when you play it, you rest one of your opponent's Digimon, and during your opponent's next active phase, none of your opponent's Digimon can be made active. And when you attack, you gain a memory. So, the Digimon that are put to rest from this card's effect, are they the only ones not put to active during your opponent's next active phase? No. You put one to rest, but none of your opponent's Digimon can come active next turn. With the effect of this card's skill, does that mean I can put my opponent's Digimon that were originally inactive to rest at my opponent's next active phase? No. Only Digimon in rest cannot be put to active. Digimon that are already resting will stay there. And finally, does this card's play effect stop my opponent's Tamers in rest mode from being put to active? No. It only affects Digimon. It stops Digimon being put active. It does not stop Tamers. Now, Rust Tyrannimon, on your turn, if you got a green Tamer, you can attack active Digimon. And if your opponent's Digimon is destroyed by battle with this Digimon, you rest one of your opponent's Digimon. So, when I attack my opponent's active Digimon, is it put to rest? No. It is still an active Digimon. You are just allowed to attack it. Moving over into black here, we've got Keramon. On your turn, if you play another Digimon with the same name as this Digimon, you draw 1. Does that refer to Digimon named Keramon? No. Like we said earlier, it refers to Digimon that share a name with a Digimon evolved from Keramon, whatever that might be. Still in black, because, there's more than one we can look at here. We can look at Chrysalismon, And on your turn, if you play another Digimon with the same name as this Digimon, you get an extra memory. Yes, it is the same ruling as before. We are looking at Digimon with the name of the Digimon evolved from Chrysalismon, not Chrysalismon itself. Now, there's a fairly important ruling about Infirmon here. It reduces the cost of evolving into Diaboromon from this by 1. What if you're in the raising area? Then it doesn't work. Remember the rule, and it is a fairly hard and fast rule. Digimon in the raising area do not have skills and cannot be affected by skills, which means if you're evolving up from Infirmon in the raising area, you do not get the cheaper evolution. Moving over into blue, we've got Garurumon. It's got an inheritable skill on your turn, limited to once during your turn. If your other Digimon is destroyed, you gain 1 memory. Well, if I destroy 2 or more of my other Digimon at the same time, or they're destroyed by my opponent, do I gain 2 memory? No. This evolution source only activates once per turn, so no matter how many Digimon go down, it's only going to give you an extra 1 memory. Sorry. We could have a look at Chimeramon here. Now, Chimeramon, when you play, you may destroy one of your other Digimon so that you can destroy one of your opponent's level 5 or less Digimon. Do you have to activate this effect? No, it says you may. Forcing you to destroy one or delete one of your Digimon would be harsh. With this card's effect, can I destroy a Digimon in my raising area? No. No, you cannot. And it's exactly the same thing as we've said before. Digimon in the raising area have no skills and cannot be affected by skills. Where Garurumon, when you attack, has got an inheritable skill. By destroying one of your other Digimon, you may become active, limited to once during your turn. Can you destroy a Digimon in your raising area? Say it with me, ladies and gentlemen. Digimon in your raising area have no skills and cannot be affected by skills. Now, the highest number of rulings in this video is clearly going to come from Diaboromon, the most awkward card we've seen in quite some time. Diaboromon, when you attack, you play a Diaboromon token. It's just a 3,000 power Digimon called Diaboromon, without paying any cost. And on both players' turn, if this Diaboromon would be destroyed in battle, you may destroy one of the tokens instead. What's a token? It's basically just a Digimon. It is just a token that is treated as the Digimon named. Simple as that. For this card's both players' turn effect, i.e. when it will be destroyed, when this Digimon is destroyed, can I destroy my token to activate this effect? As we said a moment ago, yes. Yes, you can. I.e. it's not just other Diaboromon, it is Diaboromon tokens, because remember, they're the same thing. Can I activate the effect when a token is destroyed? No. It is only valid for the main 10,000 power Diaboromon, not the 3,000 power token. This Digimon and other Diaboromon tokens are in my battle area. My opponent then activates their Omegamon skill. That's the one that deletes all Digimon with the same name. Will that take out my Diaboromon and all the other tokens? Yes. They are all destroyed. And incidentally, you wouldn't be able to save your main Diaboromon because it's deleted along with all the tokens. Sorry. And for this Digimon's both players' turn effect, does it activate when the Digimon is destroyed from a battle with a security Digimon? Yes. It does not specify that it's only in a battle with a Digimon, so security Digimon would work just the same. Now, Millenniummon is a level 7 in this set, the second level 7 we've seen. When you evolve, you can return one of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of their deck, discarding any evolution sources. And when it is destroyed, if this Digimon has evolution sources, you may play it from the trash without paying its cost. So you get your level 7 back, that's pretty good. Are the evolution sources this Digimon had when it was destroyed returned to the battle area with it? No. It is played just as an unevolved level 7. You've lost the evolution sources, but at least you get Millenniummon back. Now moving on into Tamers here, we've got Sora. On your turn, if your red Digimon attacks the player, you can rest it to give that Digimon an extra 2,000 power. And it's a ruling we've seen several times in this video already. If my opponent blocks, do I get the extra power? Yes. You still attack the player, it just happens to be blocked. Kid Joe has got a rather nice skill where if you discard the evolution source of an opponent's Digimon, you can rest it to gain a memory. Well, when I use an effect that says, put one of your opponent's Digimon into their hand, their evolution sources are discarded, is that the same? No. You are not removing an evolution source, it is just explaining what happens to the evolution sources when the Digimon goes to hand. You have got to actually discard the evolution sources, not put a Digimon in the hand and see the evolution sources go away. Tiger is the green tamer in the set. Your Digimon whose names contain Tyrannomon get piercing, and if you evolve into a Digimon whose name contains Tyrannomon, you can rest it to reduce that cost by 1. Can you do it in the raising area? No! Digimon in the raising area have no skills and cannot be affected by skills. If you're evolving into a Tyrannomon or similar card in the raising area, you cannot rest this to reduce the cost. Now, moving over into option cards, there are a couple we need to have a quick chat about here. Eden's Javelin is a 6-cost card that lets you draw 1 and gives one of your opponent's Digimon 1,000 power less until the end of turn for each card in your hand. Can I target separate Digimon here? No. If you've got 6 cards in hand, one Digimon gets minus 6,000 power. This isn't like Shine Greymon where it's multiple instances of the same thing. It is one instance which is affected by the amount of cards in your hand. Heat Viper is a lovely purple option card that lets you destroy one of your Digimon to then destroy 2 of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. Okay. Can I destroy a Digimon in my raising area? No! Obviously you can't! And then looking at the secret rares, we've got Beezlemon here. This says that if you've got 10 or more cards in your trash, your Impmon can evolve into this by paying 4 memory, and when you evolve, you destroy one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. If I've got 10 or more cards in my trash, can I evolve my Impmon in my raising area into this card? No! How many more times? And finally, Black War Greymon. Now, this has 2 skills. If your opponent has a Digimon with 10,000 power or more, you can reduce the cost of playing it from your hand by 6, so it's a 7 cost, not a 13 cost. And when you attack, if this Digimon attacks your opponent's Digimon with the highest amount of power, this Digimon becomes active. Okay. Does that mean the Digimon with the highest DP amongst my opponent's Digimon, or of all the Digimon including my own? Just your opponent's, not yours. It is just when you attack your opponent's most powerful Digimon. If my opponent's got multiple Digimon with the highest amount of power, can I activate this skill by attacking whichever of them I choose? Yes. As long as it's got the joint highest power, you good, sir. You good. And finally, let's say my opponent's Digimon with the highest amount of power is active, i.e. I'm not allowed to attack it. And so I instead go after their highest resting Digimon, i.e. the most powerful one I'm allowed to attack. Can I use a skill? No. You're not attacking the most powerful Digimon. If their most powerful Digimon is rested, gutted, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen. Gutted. So there we go, that is the official FAQ for the second set of the Digimon TCG. Lots of rulings, but ones that were important and we needed to go into. Now it's over to you, lovely ladies and gentlemen, to tell me what you think about these rulings, and if there are any that don't make sense, and to ask any questions you've got in the comment section. So go nuts, but be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. That's where we talk Digimon and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun stuff. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.